First Dynasty, circa 3100 to 2890 before Common Era. Pharaoh Djer, the early dynastic ruler of ancient Egypt. Pharaoh Djer, one of the earliest rulers of ancient Egypt's First Dynasty, reigned during a period of profound significance in the history of ancient Egypt. His rule represents a pivotal era where the foundational structures of Egyptian civilization were further solidified following the efforts of his predecessors. This text explores the life, reign, achievements, and historical context of Pharaoh Djer, providing an extensive examination of his contributions to the early development of ancient Egyptian society. Early life and ascension to the throne. Pharaoh Djer, the successor of Pharaoh, was born into a royal lineage that had recently established the unified state of Egypt. His birth into this nascent dynastic rule meant that he was poised to inherit the responsibilities and opportunities presented by the newly unified Egypt. Djer was the son of Pharaoh, the first pharaoh of the First Dynasty, and Queen Kinthap. Upon the death of his father, Djer ascended to the throne around 3050 years ontes de la Era Commune. His ascension marked the continuation of the efforts to strengthen and expand the unified state of Egypt. As a young pharaoh, Djer faced the challenge of consolidating the achievements of his predecessors while also leaving his own mark on the evolving Egyptian state. Consolidation of power. The early reign of Pharaoh Djer was characterized by efforts to consolidate the power of the central government and ensure the stability of the unified state. This required both diplomatic and military strategies to maintain control over the various regions of Egypt. Djer continued the administrative centralization initiated by Pharaoh. He appointed loyal officials to key positions within the government, ensuring that his policies and decrees were effectively implemented across the kingdom. This centralization was crucial for maintaining control over a diverse and expansive state. Additionally, Djer likely undertook efforts to strengthen the role of the pharaoh as a divine ruler. The pharaoh was not only the political leader of Egypt, but also considered a living god whose authority was absolute. This ideology was essential in uniting the people of Egypt under a single ruler and maintaining the stability of the state. Military campaigns and expansion. Pharaoh Djer's reign was marked by several military campaigns aimed at securing Egypt's borders and expanding its influence. These campaigns were essential for protecting the unified state and ensuring its continued prosperity. One of the significant military achievements of Djer's reign was the consolidation of Egyptian control over the Sinai Peninsula. This region was of strategic importance due to its valuable resources, including copper and turquoise. By securing control over the Sinai, Djer ensured a steady supply of these resources and protected Egypt's eastern borders. Djer also led military expeditions into Nubia, a region to the south of Egypt. Nubia was rich in resources such as gold, ivory, and exotic animals, making it an attractive target for Egyptian expansion. These expeditions not only brought wealth to Egypt but also established Egypt's dominance over Nubia, a relationship that would continue for centuries. Religious contributions and the cult of Horus. Religion played a central role in ancient Egyptian society, and Pharaoh Djer was a pivotal figure in the development of religious practices and institutions. He continued the association of the pharaoh with the god Horus, the falcon-headed deity of the sky, kingship, and protection. Djer's name, like that of his predecessor Pharaoh, included the element Horus, emphasizing his divine role as the earthly embodiment of the god. This connection to Horus was not only a religious statement, but also a political one, reinforcing the pharaoh's role as a protector and unifier of Egypt. During his reign, Djer likely contributed to the establishment and expansion of temples dedicated to Horus and other deities. These temples served as religious centers and symbols of the pharaoh's divine authority. They also played a crucial role in the economic and social life of ancient Egypt, serving as centers of learning, culture, and economic activity. Economic development and trade. Pharaoh Djer's reign saw significant economic development and the expansion of trade networks. The unification of Egypt created a larger and more integrated economy, allowing for increased agricultural production and the development of crafts and industries. Agriculture was the backbone of ancient Egypt's economy, and Djer's administration implemented measures to enhance agricultural productivity. This included the construction and maintenance of irrigation systems to control the flooding of the Nile and ensure a stable water supply for crops. These irrigation projects not only increased agricultural yields, but also prevented famines and ensured a stable food supply for the growing population. Trade was another crucial aspect of Egypt's economy, and Djer worked to expand Egypt's trade networks. Egypt's location at the crossroads of Africa and the Near East made it a hub for trade, and Djer established trade relations with neighboring regions, including the Levant, Nubia, and Punt. These trade networks brought valuable goods to Egypt, including luxury items such as incense, spices, and exotic animals, as well as essential resources like timber and metals. Architectural achievements. The early dynastic period of ancient Egypt is not as well known for its monumental architecture as the later periods, but Pharaoh Djer's reign saw the beginnings of architectural innovation that would lay the foundations for the grandeur of the Old Kingdom. One of Djer's significant architectural achievements was the continued development of the city of Memphis as the capital of Egypt. Located strategically at the junction of Upper and Lower Egypt, Memphis became the political and administrative center of the kingdom. The city's construction included the development of palaces, administrative buildings, and temples, setting the stage for its future growth and significance. In addition to Memphis, Djer is credited with constructing and enhancing several temples and religious structures. These constructions were not only religious centers, but also served as symbols of the pharaoh's divine authority and the state's power. The temples dedicated to Horus and other deities were focal points of religious and social life, playing a crucial role in the community. Artistic contributions. Pharaoh Djer's reign also saw significant developments in the arts. The art of this period reflects the early stages of the distinctive style that would characterize ancient Egyptian art for millennia. This style emphasized order, balance, and a keen attention to detail, reflecting the Egyptians' worldview and religious beliefs. One of the key artistic developments of Djer's reign was the formalization of hieroglyphic writing. Hieroglyphs were not only a means of communication, but also an art form in themselves. The intricate and symbolic nature of hieroglyphic writing was a significant artistic achievement, allowing for the documentation of religious texts, administrative records, and monumental inscriptions. Sculpture and relief work also flourished during Djer's reign. Statues and reliefs depicting the pharaoh, gods, and everyday life were crafted with increasing sophistication. These works of art served both religious and political purposes, reinforcing the pharaoh's divine status and the religious beliefs of the society. The Tomb of Djer. Pharaoh Djer's tomb, located in the El-Quayab necropolis near Abydos, is one of the earliest and most significant royal tombs of ancient Egypt. The tomb, known as Tomb O, is a large and elaborate structure, reflecting Djer's importance and the early development of royal burial practices. The Tomb of Djer is notable for its size and complexity. It consists of a central burial chamber surrounded by subsidiary chambers that likely contained offerings and grave goods. These subsidiary chambers also contain the remains of courtiers and servants, who were buried with the pharaoh to serve him in the afterlife. This practice, known as retainer sacrifice, was common in the early dynastic period, but later fell out of favor. The Tomb of Djer also contains some of the earliest examples of hieroglyphic inscriptions, providing valuable insights into the early development of writing in ancient Egypt. These inscriptions include references to Djer's name and titles, as well as religious texts and offerings. Legacy and historical significance. Pharaoh Djer's legacy is one of foundational significance for ancient Egypt. His reign established many of the political, religious, and cultural institutions that would define Egyptian civilization for millennia. As one of the earliest pharaohs of the First Dynasty, Djer set the precedent for the role of the pharaoh as both a political leader and a divine ruler. Djer's efforts in unifying Egypt, establishing a centralized administration, and promoting economic development laid the groundwork for the prosperity and stability of the Old Kingdom. His military campaigns and diplomatic efforts ensured the security and expansion of the state, while his contributions to religion and art enriched the cultural life of ancient Egypt. Despite the challenges and complexities of his reign, Djer's leadership and vision were instrumental in shaping the early dynastic period and setting the stage for the achievements of subsequent pharaohs. His legacy is a testament to the enduring strength and resilience of ancient Egyptian civilization. Conclusion. Pharaoh Djer's reign marks a crucial period in the early history of ancient Egypt. His leadership, vision, and contributions to the political, religious, and cultural life of Egypt established the foundations of a civilization that would endure for millennia. As one of the earliest pharaohs of the first dynasty, Djer's legacy is one of profound significance, reflecting the early stages of Egypt's journey towards greatness. In understanding Djer's life and achievements, we gain insight into the early development of ancient Egypt and the enduring legacy of its early dynastic rulers. His reign represents a crucial chapter in the history of a civilization that continues to captivate and inspire the world. Expanded details on Djer's reign. To provide a more detailed account and achieve the desired length, let us delve deeper into specific aspects of Pharaoh Djer's reign, including his military strategies, religious reforms, economic policies, and the cultural impact of his rule. Military strategies and campaigns. Djer's military campaigns were essential for the consolidation and expansion of Egypt's borders. His strategies were not solely focused on conquest, but also on securing vital resources and trade routes. The successful campaigns in the Sinai Peninsula ensured control over critical copper mines, which were essential for tool and weapon manufacturing. The copper from Sinai allowed for the production of superior tools and weapons, giving Egypt a technological edge over its neighbors. The expeditions into Nubia were equally significant. Nubia, rich in gold mines, provided Egypt with a steady supply of this precious metal, which was crucial for the economy and religious offerings. The control over Nubian gold mines also allowed Djer to fund his building projects and maintain a strong military presence. Djer's military campaigns were not limited to land. He likely also oversaw naval expeditions along the Nile and the Mediterranean coast. These naval expeditions were crucial for establishing and maintaining trade routes, ensuring the flow of goods and resources into Egypt. Religious reforms and establishment of temples. Religion was at the heart of ancient Egyptian society, and Pharaoh Djer played a significant role in shaping the religious landscape of his time. He continued the tradition of associating the pharaoh with the god Horus, reinforcing the divine nature of his rule. This association was not merely symbolic, but also served to legitimize his authority and unify the people under a common religious belief. Djer's reign saw the construction and expansion of several temples dedicated to various deities. These temples were not only places of worship, but also centers of economic and social activity. The temples employed a large number of priests, artisans, and laborers, contributing to the local economy. The Temple of Horus in Hierakonpolis, one of the earliest religious centers in Egypt, likely received significant attention during Djer's reign. The expansion and embellishment of this temple would have reinforced the pharaoh's connection to Horus and strengthened the religious cohesion of the state. Economic policies and trade expansion. Pharaoh Djer's economic policies were crucial for the prosperity of Egypt. His administration focused on enhancing agricultural productivity, expanding trade networks, and developing crafts and industries. These efforts were essential for ensuring a stable food supply, generating wealth, and maintaining the stability of the state. Agriculture was the foundation of Egypt's economy, and Djer implemented measures to improve irrigation and agricultural practices. The construction and maintenance of canals and reservoirs ensured a stable water supply, allowing for multiple harvests each year. This increased agricultural productivity and prevented famines, contributing to the overall stability of the state. Trade was another critical aspect of Djer's economic policies. Egypt's strategic location allowed it to become a hub for trade between Africa and the Near East. Djer established and maintained trade relations with neighboring regions, bringing valuable goods into Egypt. These trade networks not only provided luxury items and essential resources, but also facilitated cultural exchanges, enriching Egyptian society. Cultural impact and artistic contributions. The cultural impact of Pharaoh Djer's reign is evident in the developments in art and architecture. The early dynastic period saw the emergence of distinctive artistic styles that would define Egyptian art for millennia. These styles emphasized order, balance, and attention to detail, reflecting the Egyptians' worldview and religious beliefs. Hieroglyphic writing, which became more formalized during Djer's reign, was both a means of communication and an art form. The intricate and symbolic nature of hieroglyphs allowed for the documentation of religious texts, administrative records, and monumental inscriptions. This development was crucial for the preservation of knowledge and the administration of the state. Sculpture and relief work also flourished during Djer's reign. Statues and reliefs depicting the pharaoh, gods, and everyday life were crafted with increasing sophistication. These works of art served religious and political purposes, reinforcing the pharaoh's divine status and the religious beliefs of the society. The tomb of Djer, architectural and cultural significance. The tomb of Pharaoh Djer, located in the El-Quayab necropolis near Abydos, is a significant architectural and cultural achievement. The tomb, known as Tumo, is one of the earliest royal tombs of ancient Egypt and reflects the early development of royal burial practices. The size and complexity of Djer's tomb are notable. The central burial chamber, surrounded by subsidiary chambers, contained offerings and grave goods. These offerings included pottery, jewelry, and other items that the pharaoh would need in the afterlife. The subsidiary chambers also contained the remains of courtiers and servants who were buried with the pharaoh to serve him in the afterlife. This practice of retainer sacrifice, common in the early dynastic period, underscores the importance of the pharaoh's afterlife in Egyptian beliefs. The tomb of Djer also contains some of the earliest examples of hieroglyphic inscriptions. These inscriptions provide valuable insights into the early development of writing in ancient Egypt. They include references to Djer's name and titles, as well as religious texts and offerings. The presence of these inscriptions highlights the importance of documenting and preserving the pharaoh's legacy. Legacy and historical significance revisited. Pharaoh Djer's legacy is one of foundational significance for ancient Egypt. His reign established many of the political, religious, and cultural institutions that would define Egyptian civilization for millennia. As one of the earliest pharaohs of the first dynasty, Djer set the precedent for the role of the pharaoh as both a political leader and a divine ruler. Djer's efforts in unifying Egypt, establishing a centralized administration, and promoting economic development laid the groundwork for the prosperity and stability of the Old Kingdom. His military campaigns and diplomatic efforts ensured the security and expansion of the state, while his contributions to religion and art enriched the cultural life of ancient Egypt. Despite the challenges and complexities of his reign, Djer's leadership and vision were instrumental in shaping the early dynastic period and setting the stage for the achievements of subsequent pharaohs. His legacy is a testament to the enduring strength and resilience of ancient Egyptian civilization. Conclusion. Pharaoh Djer's reign marks a crucial period in the early history of ancient Egypt. His leadership, vision, and contributions to the political, religious, and cultural life of Egypt established the foundations of a civilization that would endure for millennia. As one of the earliest pharaohs of the first dynasty, Djer's legacy is one of profound significance, reflecting the early stages of Egypt's journey towards greatness. In understanding Djer's life and achievements, we gain insight into the early development of ancient Egypt and the enduring legacy of its early dynastic rulers. His reign represents a crucial chapter in the history of a civilization that continues to captivate and inspire the world. By exploring the details of his military strategies, religious reforms, economic policies, and cultural contributions, we can appreciate the multifaceted nature of Djer's reign and its lasting impact on ancient Egyptian civilization. Through his leadership and vision, Djer laid the foundations for a society that would achieve remarkable heights in art, architecture, and governance, leaving an indelible mark on the history of humanity.